From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning on Mornings in LALATE as more Democratic senators and more Democratic House members confirm to viewers of this channel there will be a fourth stimulus check in the fourth stimulus package. In this incredible fourth stimulus check updated 2021, we go over the world exclusive as Jayalal confirms to viewers of this channel she's putting a monthly stimulus check in there. That's 24 hours after AOC's office confirmed the same. We'll be going over the world exclusive you're only hearing on this recording on this channel as Jayalal adds to the list of those senators and House members who represent they're giving you a monthly IRS stimulus check. Then we cut to the big, exciting, great details of what's happening in that first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill. Checks after checks. Checks for hazard pay, for workers, for even a bike, a car, or fixing up your home. And then we cut to cluster number 2 that has more checks in there as well. Checks for $1,700 if you have to stay home, and also for weatherization of your house. Checks for seniors and checks for workers are in cluster number 3, including free checks for internet. But then out of nowhere came the big shocker this week as an additional $13 billion is being sent out for the federal government to you for more money for rent, utilities, and food. Wow, this is a big recording with world exclusives as Jayalal joins AOC, Schumer, Coons, Casey, Warren, and Sanders saying you're getting it. I got all the incredible world exclusive details, and it starts right now, live from Santa Monica, beginning as the toast is toasted, the butter is buttering, and the coffee is brewing on Mornings LALATE. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day on this gorgeous, beautiful fall weather. It's gotten cold here in Santa Monica, California, so jump in the live chat. Tell me where you're tuned in from and how the weather is. Well, the breaking news is Coons, Sanders, Warren, Casey, Schumer, and Wyden all confirmed to viewers of this channel you're getting an IRS stimulus check. And then in this recording, you're going to see the world exclusive happening minutes ago as Jayalal is added to the list after AOC was announced yesterday. You'll be hearing from fellow viewers who have made those phone calls and have gone to the confirmation. Then we'll be cutting to the first 645 pages of that incredible reconciliation budget bill. Checks of all kinds, checks for workers, hazard pay, checks for seniors, and also bicycles, vehicles, and also for your home. We'll go into cluster number 2 and 3 that has more checks for seniors and also checks for staying at home if someone is sick. And then we got to the big, credible details that no one saw coming as the House members are back in session this coming week. Wow, it's a big, exciting news day, and I'm excited you're here, and this is LALATE. So subscribe. At 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP, and sign up for those LA alerts. Let's cut right into the world exclusive you're hearing right today, right now, and only on this channel, as AOC is now joined by Jayalal that confirms to viewers of this channel as well she's giving you a monthly stimulus check in the fourth stimulus reconciliation budget bill. The world exclusive was revealed, of course, by Janice on Countdown Mornings today. On Countdown's LALATE at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Janice was in the live chat, said, I've called every congressman, and I called Jayalal, and also did say a fourth stimulus check is in there. Wow. This started no less than 8 weeks ago when a viewer by the name of WR made the phone call when I told you to do and advocated for a stimulus check and got a response from Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant, that he's doing a monthly stimulus check. The ball started rolling with brother Joshua 3 weeks ago when Senator Bernie Sanders' office confirmed to brother Joshua monthly $1,000 to $1,400, and that it would run for 3 to 6 months after brother Joshua advocated vigorously for that stimulus check. But then it continued with viewer after viewer making the phone call, and it just continued to snowball. It continued when a wonderful viewer by the name of there it is, Donnie picked up the phone call and got the confirmation from Sanders' office. I called and I advocated. I said, I need it. My family needs it. This is what my city needs. I need it. And I was told by Sanders' office, yes, they're doing it. Then Hurricane Tina paid the phone call and advocated for it, got the yes. Then came the incredible passionate plea by Carolyn Smith on Countdown LALATE yesterday. Called to Sanders' office and advocated for it. I said, people are losing their homes. We need it. And Sanders' office said yes. Then came Yaya, advocated with Wyden's office, who said yes, and even is considering doing SS 200. But then out of nowhere came Will with the incredible comment yesterday, called not one, but 3 offices. He called. He said, I spent the day calling around, and I called Senator Bernie Sanders, Senator Elizabeth Warren, I called Senator Chuck Schumer's office, and all 3 secretaries confirmed it. I advocated for it. Then he tells us about Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren's office said they're considering $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months of checks. Bonnie was on the live chat yesterday. She said, I almost choked on my food when I saw that. I couldn't believe the excitement. Paul then Lorica gave us an incredible update. Lorica said that Senator Bob Casey's office says he's doing it, but moreover that they're negotiating the amount right now. And then Paul made the incredible phone call yesterday to AOC's office, and AOC said she'll do it, and she's doing it at $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000 over 12 months, with Paul advocating vigorously why I need the stimulus check. And it continued with today with Jayala Paul and Janice. This is what advocacy does, and this is what advocacy gets. More about that in a second, but let's cut to the first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill. The first 645 pages of what is upwards of potentially an 8,000-page bill have been released, and it's 645 pages of checks for you, and they are deliciousness. There are checks for hazard pay, $51,000 of MSC, checks for seniors, checks for children, checks for workers, checks for vehicles, and checks for students. Let's go over each of them starting right now. But first, here's a message. Everything in 4 stimulus recon does not require COVID issues. So it's not COVID-related stimulus. So you don't have to have anything COVID to be qualified for this incredible money. All right, the first one is hazard pay, lifetime baby for essential workers. This channel did nearly 300 videos of hazard pay in 2020 advocating for it. And it finally got into the third stimulus package by taking an old tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit and modifying the tax code so more people are eligible and then increasing the sum of money. But third stimulus was only temporary. And so fourth stimulus makes this lifetime. So if you're an essential worker and you continue to work as an essential worker and eligible for the Earned Income Tax Credit every year, you get it. Wow. The second check was a big surprise. No one saw it. It was not on my radar. It came from Representative Richard Neal, head of the House Ways and Means Committee. Up to $4,000 a year if you care for an elderly person. If you're a care provider, this is big news for you. Up to $4,000 a person per year if you care for an elderly. On the flip side, they're also doing it if you care for a child. That is huge news. Then what about MSCs? What about $51,000 of monthly checks? Oh, yes, it's happening. Under third stimulus, they provided a $300 a month check to some children, but now they're going to do it lifetime. So if you're a parent who's about to give birth to a newborn child and you're in a low-income household, every year that that household remains low income, you qualify for this money. How much is it? Up to $300 a month per child per year over 18 years, which is about $51,000 a child. Wow. How about money for students? Yes. There are new grants for college students. They're making the Pell Grant tax-free, and then there's money for the colleges, and they'll pay it directly to you. What about your home? There's money in there as well. They're going to provide money for people who have to live in a low-income community to repair the home. Then what about bikes, cars, and vehicles? Oh, yes. The federal government will provide 15% for the purchase price of a brand new electric bike to you. How about a vehicle? Yes, if you need a new vehicle for personal use, the federal government will pay up to $7,500 per electric vehicle you purchase from the number 3 U.S. auto manufacturers. Then the vehicles for business use, they'll pay a little bit more, and the vehicles is an electric truck, they'll pay more as well. And they're also trying to negotiate for the import manufacturers. Then there is just so many items in that 645-page bill. But guess what? That is just the start. What is 645 pages? Why 645 pages? Let me go over the details. The Democrats are the only people who are coming to the agreement that, because it's a Democrat-only bill. And so the Democrats, the way they do this is they talk on the phone or behind closed doors or in their offices over a cup of coffee. What do you think about this provision? $4,000 to care for the elderly. I like it. Go write it up. 15% for a bike. I like it. Go write it up. Once they had enough items, they said, go write it up. So this first 645 pages are the items they said, go write them up. The Democrats are negotiating without TVs, not on the Senate floor, not on the House floor. It's in their offices, and certainly not on TikTok either. As they agree to more provisions, then they do those as well. But guess what? I have the next clusters. Cluster number 2 are nearly 12 checks, which are absolutely deliciousness. They say that getting in there, they're just going over the numbers shortly. Cluster number 3 are checks the president wants you to have. I'm going to go over those in a second. Those are checks the president wants in there, and they're getting them as well. There may be other clusters as well. But now let's turn briefly to the big exciting news that no one saw coming. An additional $13 billion coming to your cities and counties and state on the third stimulus? Yes. IRS Treasury made the huge announcement this week that they're sending out more money to every state and county that replenishes the money for rent, utility, mortgage assistance under third stimulus. This is huge. Department of Treasury made the big, huge announcement because under third stimulus, they were allocated upwards of $47 billion. They had still not sent out the last $13 billion, and now it's going out last week and this week. The Treasury is happy to provide these states and local government programs with additional resources to support Americans in need of rental assistance, said Treasury. This is huge. This means that if you were one of the rare viewers who reached out to all 6 places I detail in this video, and all 6 said, sorry, we just ran out of money, guess what? Every single state and county will have money starting next week. More about that coming up in a second. But let's go back to some checks. I feel like some checks. How about you? Let's go over cluster number 2 of checks. These are 12 checks that every Democrat has been talking about every single day, so it's going to get in there. They're just going over the numbers. The first one, expansion of the paid family and medical leave. What's paid family leave? Your spouse is pregnant, you have to stay home. What's medical leave? Your son's leg is broken, you have to stay home from work. How much does it pay? A lot. Under third stimulus, they were going to pay $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 a year or more. So let's split that in half. Let's say you make $35,000 a year. Then you would get $800 a week. Let's split it in half again. Let's say you make $15,000 a year. Then you get $400 a week. Wow, this is huge money. Federal government would pay it to the employer, who would then pay it to you. Then, number 2, building up of the child care programs. Number 3, expansion of the household tax credits. Number 4, expansion of Medicare benefits for seniors, more money for seniors like dental checks, vision and hearing, and medical eligibility age dropping. More about that in cluster number 3. Number 5, weatherization of your home. Yes, more checks for your home. Weatherization of home. This is when the Purple Hawks are flying up above. What is weatherization of your home? If your home is an area that's prone to hurricanes, tornadoes, or fires, the federal government will pay you checks to weatherize it. All right, let's turn to some money for education. Universal pre-kindergarten will be free for everyone. Wow. And the next one I personally love. There's always someone who says, I understand what LA's saying. He just talks funny. He has that strange LA way of talking. I understand him. Well, guess what? The federal government will pay you to go to community college to take What the World is LA Saying 101. You don't have to get a degree in it. Pardon my French. Free tuition, community college, nationwide. This is huge, tuition free. Then there'll be more checks for green energy and more. Wow, that's incredible details. It's incredible to see that as you look at this recon, the money keeps on going bigger and bolder because there is so much money in $3.5 trillion, an amount that Bernie Sanders negotiated for and now is getting done. Now, how about cluster number 3? There is a third cluster. In fact, there may be 20 clusters. These are just the clusters I know about because the Democrats have mentioned them. And as you saw of Richard Neal with the $4,000 for the adult seniors, came out of nowhere. No one even knew was happening. There may be surprise checks across the board. Here is cluster number 3 of checks. Free school meals for all, checks. Tax break, checks. Cheaper prescription medication, checks. Checks for farmers, checks for free internet, checks for clean energy, then checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for seniors like lowering Medicare eligibility age, checks for dental, checks for vision, and checks for hearing care. Several of those checks are nearly automatic. Let's go over 2 of them. 1, prescriptions. This would work the following way. Federal government, especially the president, loves this provision because instantly, overnight, you'd see money stay in your wallet. Let's say you go into a pharmacy on a Monday and normally refill a prescription at $30 out of your wallet. Well, this becomes law the next day. Then when you go to refill the prescription, you could see potentially the number at $10. So you're leaving an extra $20 bill in your wallet because of this law. How about the free internet? Totally, nearly automatic. How would this work? Federal government would give fortunes to local cities and counties so that they could run free internet companies. They would say, are you a resident? I am. Here's proof of my residency or that I live in your town. Okay, here's the username and password for the free Wi-Fi. And there you go. Wow. In the second half of this video, we'll be going more into detail about this MSC IRS check. The incredible detail as now Jayalapal joins AOC from yesterday. These are world exclusives you are not hearing anywhere else, only on LALATE. Then we're going to go over the comments that offices of Coons, Sander, Warren, Schumer, Casey, and Wyden have told viewers of this channel in addition to AOC and also Jayalapal. Then we'll be cutting to the big surprise as what is happening now that the House members are coming back into town, coming back into session tomorrow, and the addition of $13 billion coming out to your cities and counties and states. I'll go over why this new cash infusion is huge for you and why it gives you a lot of money. Then we'll be turning to the nonprofits, which you're going to see in this video are now paying big money that we never saw before. And then we'll be cutting to fiscal stimulus. A lot coming up in this final 15 minutes of this video. Stay with me. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. But first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now as the toast is toasted, the butter is buttery, and the coffee is brewing. As we're live from Santa Monica and another major Democrat steps up and says, yes, that office is doing an MSC IRS check. Jayalapal, confirming the House bill is certainly on the forefront. We'll be going over the incredible updates from viewers in this recording. Then we'll be cutting to the big exciting details of fifth stimulus. We'll be going over what's happening with the House members coming back in session this coming week. And then we'll be turning to the big surprise as an additional $13 billion is coming out to your cities and counties and states. We never saw that happening. It's a big morning, and the toast is toasted, and the butter is buttering, and this is LALATE. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Coming up next at 10 o'clock a.m. live on air is Mornings Crypto. Then at 11 a.m. is noontime. Then we go into the 1, 3, and 5 o'clock shows. And then tonight, a new show every hour on the hour starting at 5 p.m. It's a big day, so subscribe, like the video, and consider becoming a member. Let's cut to the big surprise as the federal government finds an additional $13 billion for you for third stimulus. My goodness. An additional $13 billion is going out to your cities and counties, every city, county, and state across the country for third stimulus for rent, utilities, food, or internet. This is huge because if you're one of the few viewers who reached out to all 6 places I detail and they said, sorry, we ran out of money, guess what? That money will now be there last week and this coming week. So you want to pick up the phone and call and get on that waiting list or tell them I'm going to call back when you get that money. Let's go over the big money right now. We're going to start by understanding these numbers are going higher than we ever seen before. When I first started detailing rent on this channel, viewers were getting about $20,000. Last week, Jen got nearly $40,000 of rent. So the numbers have really gone from $20,000 to $40,000 in less than a month. Then when we talk about utilities, we were at $5,000 just a few days ago. Now we're getting viewers upwards of $15,000, like Mark's brother-in-law getting $15,000 for utilities. When we talk about the big sums of money for Snap, now viewers are getting upwards of $21,000. What a growth from just $5,000 a few weeks ago. Let's go over all the big sums of money and how you get this money and the big surprise you're hearing for the first time on Mornings LA starting right now. First, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. Each place has different eligibility. They also have their own pot of money. Then listen to the keywords I say in this video. Third, I have a big surprise for other places to reach out for the money as well. All right, here you go. You're going to reach out to the following 6 places for rent, utility, mortgage assistance. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, and your state house authority. Those 6 places. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. Again, here are the 6 places. City Hall, City House Authority. County Hall, County House Authority. State Hall, and State House Authority. Now, the big news is that every single state has money now. Every county will have money now. So the money may not have landed just yet, and they may not have allocated it yet, but they will have it. So call the places you may have called before and say, have you gotten the money? If they say no, then say, can I be on the waiting list? Or can I call you back tomorrow? This is why it's important to pounce as a Purple Hawk. Kevin Lee, one of the old-time viewers of this channel, learned this in April of last year in the middle of the pandemic when the city of Dallas went live with money, and Kevin applied instantly that day. Within 3 days, the money was gone. That's how it's important to be first in line because it is $13 billion, but it will go quickly. Then, not the utility companies. I want you to reach out to all your utility companies. So if you have 5, reach out to all of them. Then comes the big surprise you're seeing on the first time on Mornings LA, as the nonprofits have been the big success story once again on this channel. I ran hundreds of videos in fall of 2020 and early 2021 about the nonprofits, and they're paying for rent, utility, mortgage assistance, and also other items. Well, now, in the last 24 hours, I have one viewer who says, I got a refrigerator and a furnace and my window fixed by one of the nonprofits. Another viewer saying, I picked up the phone 24 hours after you started first mentioning this, and United Way said to me, no one's been calling for rent. I'm first in line and they think I'm going to get approved. So here are the 5 different nonprofits. They're all different across the country. Here are the 5 nonprofits for you to reach out to. United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Again, United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. What's huge about this is that their money is different than the federal government's money, and they pay in a way that's totally different than the federal government. So reach out to them right now. Let's cut over to SNAP. SNAP is money for food. And how do you get it from Department of Agriculture? And guess what? It's paying a fortune. How much does it pay? Well, Mark's brother-in-law was sitting on $21,000 a year. He's now going to get $26,000 a year. Why? What's happening? Department of Agriculture is raising everyone's benefits starting in October, an average of 25% per person a lifetime automatically nationwide. This is huge. Now, let me explain something that's causing some confusion for some viewers. You're currently under a raise of your SNAP benefits because of 2 executive orders. Those executive orders expired in September, so you're going to get a letter that says your SNAP benefits are going back down. Understand there's going to be a letter right behind it, right after it, that says, hi, your benefits are going up to this number, approximately 25% lifetime. So watch for that second letter. All right, let's go to those unemployment benefits. Yes, if you were overpaid unemployment benefits due to your state, due to computer error, they're coming back. Average payment is $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state for tracking time. And then finally, the repayment of unemployment of that check from IRS where you had paid the IRS taxes on the 2020 unemployment benefits. Average payment is about $1,200 to about $2,000. Margaret got it, Michael got it. It comes otherwise in the mail or by direct deposit. Go do an IRS tracking tool to track it. Finally, if you got in any of these monies, jump in the live chat right now and post it because you inspire other people. Lastly, if you've not become a Purple Hawk, what are you doing? People in the live chat who have emoji next to their name are Purple Hawks. Daily, I deliver to Purple Hawks a breakdown of all the big money on the first, second, and third stimulus for you get. And you see, there's a lot. And now with the daily newsletter, I'm going to start including the nonprofits and also the $13 billion cash infusion going back to your counties and states. So you know what these things are and where they are. There's a fortune to be gotten. And viewers like Johnny getting $80,000, Mark getting $55,000, his brother-in-law, Jen getting $44,000 of rent. These are regular occurrences. What I want you to know and what I want you to do is I want you to get money as far as you can into 2022. So if you got rent for a few months and it's about to expire in October, go get another round of rent to carry you into next year. Get utilities to carry you into next year, and as many of them as you can. Finally, for the holidays, make sure you reach out to Salvation Army and United Way right now, especially Salvation Army, because their holiday gift drive starts usually in September and early October. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video. Boy, it's an exciting day as we now have more Democrats on board. We'll go over those comments from those Democrats. On the House side that follow the Senate Democrats, we'll go over what viewers have been telling us and what they have been hearing across the board. It's incredible deliciousness. It's stuff like you've never seen before, and you're never going to see it anywhere else because these are world exclusive. You're only getting on LALATE. Then we're going to go over the issue of the Democrats coming back, the House members going back into session, what this means for you in a big week, and what it means for also the drafting of the actual legislation. The final 15 minutes starts right now, and here we go. 8 weeks ago, we were sitting here, and I was reporting to you the House and Senate Democrats who wanted to give you IRS stimulus checks. And there were some naysayers who said, I haven't heard of. I said, pick up the phone and advocate. And at that time, a wonderful viewer by the name of WR made one of the very first calls. I was asking viewers to make the call, and virtually very few were doing it, but he did. WR made the call to Senator Chris Coon, Democrat, Delaware. Joe Biden's always confident. Advocate for stimulus check. This is why I need it. This is why my church needs it. This is why my family needs it. And the staffer for Senator Chris Coons said, yes, he's putting a monthly IRS stimulus check in the forced stimulus recon. World exclusive. I said push. Then came the nuance of the House versus Senate. The House 645-page bill release written by House Democrats. But guess what? There's also a Senate Budget Committee. Who's its chairman? Bernie Sanders. And why is this important? Because it's the budget bill, and Bernie Sanders singularly was the guy who got the $3.5 trillion price tag. That's his doing. He got that number. At that time, about 3 weeks ago, Bernie Sanders told press, unlike prior Democratic Senate budget chairman, I like to get out amongst the people. I said amongst the people means he wants to hear from you. He wants to hear you advocating. I said, pick up the phone and call and advocate. And not a lot of viewers listened. Not a lot of viewers called. Brother Joshua did, Lynn Glenn did, and Margaret did. But Brother Joshua made an impassioned advocacy and got the statement, yes. Now, what does advocating for a stimulus check look like? It looks like the following. I need a stimulus check because of this. My community really needs a stimulus check because of this. My church, my family, my neighborhood, my business. I got to tell you what's going on in my town so you understand. So the reason why advocacy is so important is so that the listener on the other side of the phone, when the conversation is over, has had an emotional attachment to your story so that they can turn to someone and say, wow, I can't believe this conversation I just had about a stimulus check. It was so impassioned. It was so emotional. I really resonated with that caller. Remember, they can't see you. They don't see your town, but they can certainly feel your emotions. That's advocacy for stimulus. This, however, is not advocacy for stimulus. Treating your elected officials like UPS tracking or FedEx tracking. When? Where? Is it? Isn't it? Will it? Won't it? How? Soon? Words like that. No one wants to be treated like a tracking tool. These are elected officials who are elected to advocate for you. So what did Brother Joshua do? He advocated. He said, I need it for myself, for my church, and I got to tell you why. And the response was overwhelming. Brother Joshua got the following response from Bernie Sanders staffers. First, monthly stimulus check. Second, $1,000 to $1,400 a month. Third, 3 to 6 months. There you go. World exclusive only on this channel. But the conversation continued. Bernie Sanders needs to know that the American people has his support. I said, pick up the phone and call. Call all these Democratic leaders and advocate for it. And then the push and the snowball started. It started with Donnie, who made the phone call. Advocated like you've never seen advocation before. Incredible statements Donnie said to Sanders' office. I called Sanders' office and I said, this is why I need it. My city needs it. I need it to progress. I need it for my water and everything. I called Bernie Sanders and his secretary said they are doing a forced stimulus check. And she said, okay, they're doing a forced stimulus check. The advocacy continued day in, day out from viewers of this channel, like Hurricane Tina, who picked up the phone and called Sanders' office, advocated, and they said they're doing a forced stimulus check. Then on Countdown LA 2 days ago, Carolyn Smith reveals her incredible advocacy. I told her we need it. We need help out here. People are losing their homes. This is why we need it. They're losing what they got. She agreed in Bernie Sanders' office, and Bernie is putting in a forced stimulus check. Then Ron Wyden's office got an advocacy from Yaya, and they said they're doing it, and even a perhaps SS-200. And then came the incredible comments by Will. Will made an incredible level of taking this channel from not one phone call to multiple phone calls. Yesterday, this is what Will writes. Yesterday, I spent the day calling around. I called Senator Bernie Sanders. I called Senator Elizabeth Warren. I called Senator Chuck Schumer's office. And all three of them, their secretaries confirmed there's a forced stimulus check. I explained my situation. Here's Will advocating. And how a forced stimulus check would make a huge impact. Good job, Will. And I was told, yes, it's happening. Then comes the big shocker about what Elizabeth Warren's office tells Will after he advocates for a stimulus check. Elizabeth Warren's office asked me, what kind of check do I think would be sufficient? I explained I like the American petition. That, by the way, is $2,000 a month. They said they're on board with that. And then they said Senator Warren is considering $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. That update from Will caused Bonnie in the live chat yesterday to say, I almost choked in my food. I was so excited by this. Then comes Lorica, whose comments are fascinating. Lorica's a longtime viewer. And listen to what Lorica writes. I just got off the phone with Senator Casey's office. Finally, he's on the committee for aging, and he's pushing for a lot of money for elderly and disabled. And I talked to the girl in Senator Casey's office. I said, yes. And she said, yes, they are in negotiations right now for the stimulus checks. Wow, there you go. Lorica revealing yesterday that the senators are actually negotiating the items right when we're pushing and advocating. We went into late yesterday with no less than a half dozen senators, Democrats, saying they're doing it for you. Let's go over those Senate Democrats so far. We have Coons to WR. We have Sanders to Brother Joshua. We have Warren to Paul. We have Schumer to Paul. We have Casey to Lorica. And we have Wyden to Yaya. Well, guess what? I then said to pick up the phone and start advocating with the House members. And then it happened. Late yesterday, Paul picking up the phone and calling AOC's office. I called Representative AOC and I spoke to her, and the secretary said that according to AOC, the Congresswoman wants to add monthly stimulus checks in the $3.5 trillion bill. AOC wants them to be $2,000 a month, $1,000 every month thereafter for 12 months. The staffer assured me that AOC would add it to the bill. Take care. And you're hearing for the first time on this morning's LALATE broadcast, the biggest name for your stimulus checks, the biggest name you could have after Bernie Sanders, her staff confirming the same right now, Jayalapal. Jayalapal confirming it to Janice. In morning's countdown this morning, just about an hour ago, Janice in the live chat said, I called every congressperson and I called Jayalapal. And also, Jayalapal did say yes, fourth stimulus is in there. Purple Power, LALATE, this is what we do. Advocacy is delivering. This is what advocacy gets. Let's go over who has said what and who has said when. Here you go. Senator Coons, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, and Wyden. And then on the House side, AOC and Jayalapal. Time for more world exclusives starting right now. The writing and the voting. I'm going to give you world exclusives about this. Over 3 months ago, I told you that the House Democrats, not the Senate Democrats, are likely to write the recon. Well, now that the first 645 pages have been released, we have that confirmation of my reporting. The House Democrats are likely to write the remaining 8,000 approximate pages of that recon bill once they say, go write it. As there's cluster after cluster agreed upon, go write it. The House Democrats will write it. Which one's going to vote first, House or Senate? I'm also exclusively reporting House. This is huge. Because if Jayalapal and AOC take care of the situation for you on the House side, we're good. We're good. The senators won't have to do anything to correct or modify or increase or lower. This is huge because the House members want to spend a lot of money. That's why it's important to advocate with a stimulus with your House Democrats as well. Now, also, having the senators vote last is really great news. I'll tell you why. By voting last, the Senate Democrats have a 2-day vote-a-rama. During that 2-day vote-a-rama, the Senate Democrats can modify what they get from the House. Now, the Senate Democrats are not going to remove something another Democrat wrote, but they can certainly increase the number. Let's say 15% for a bike. No, let's do 20% for a bike. $4,000 for seniors. No, let's do $5,000. They can increase the number. They can also add things in. Wow, that is incredible, great news. This week, the House Democrats are back in session. Remember, the issue of in session doesn't really apply to getting the bill written because the negotiations are not done on the House floor or the Senate floor. They're done in person, over the phone, in their offices, having a cup of coffee. But this is huge because we're getting right to the final minutes. As Lorica says, they're negotiating these terms right now. So as they look at these numbers, they may want to do some things, but they're still negotiating the numbers. So that's why it's important, Purple Power, to make that call. Hashtag Purple Power, hashtag LA. Make it very clear. If you've called one, call the rest. Call Coons, call Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, Wyden, AOC, and Jayalapal. Also call Omar. You need to advocate because advocacy is what they want to hear. If they hear it, then guess what? this is what's going to happen. Hey, Bernie, this is Liz Warren. Oh, hey, Liz. I'm just getting a lot of calls about this stimulus check. We got to do it. Liz, this is Bernie. I'm getting a lot of calls as well. You can't imagine the stories. People saying this would change their lives. It would make them so financial. It absolutely would just really impact their lives a lot. Bernie, I'm getting, and I just got a call from Jayala. She says she's getting a lot of calls as well. We got to do this, Bernie. What numbers are you thinking? Well, a lot of people are saying this number. These people talk. They hear what the other person is having get as well. So you want them to be talking about the subject matter because you're advocating. Let's recap because there's a lot coming up. Boy, what a day it is. First, third stimulus, fifth stimulus, and then fourth stimulus. Third stimulus. Third stimulus is landing with a new cash infusion of additional $13 billion in your county and states this week. So every place that may have not had money before, it will have money. Every single state, every single county will have money for you, whether it's Republican or Democrat, for rent, utility, and mortgage assistance. Also, the nonprofits are now paying big sums of money across the board. Over to fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus starts drafting in the next few days, out for a vote in December. Fifth stimulus raises your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA. They apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation. It's going up. It may be as high as 5%. That means your benefits will go up one time and then additional 5%, not just next year, but lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. Then they're going to remove the asset cap, the income cap, and the marriage penalty. Then fourth stimulus. The first 645 pages of a reconciliation bill released. Checks for hazard pay, seniors, workers, cars, vehicles, adults, children, working, single, married, all different types of checks for you. Real deliciousness. But the remaining clusters, and there may be 30 clusters, not just 2 more, they are still putting into the bill. They're negotiating them right now. So they need to hear from you right now. Finally, the IRS check. This is why this channel exists. Push Purple Power, advocate. I need it because of my family, my church, my community, my neighborhood, my business. Whether it's the senators, Coon, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, Wyden, whether it's AOC or Jayala or Omar or anyone else, your own Democratic senator, your own Democratic House member, make that push because we have the finish line in front of us. And coming up next is Morning's Crypto at 10 a.m. live on air, then noontime at 11 a.m., then we come back at afternoons at 1, 3, and then evenings LA at 5. And tonight, boy, our programming schedule, which you love, returns. A show every hour on the hour, starting at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. A show at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11:30. And then back tomorrow morning at Early Mornings LA, Overnights LA, and Countdown LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused. The toast was toasting, the butter was buttering, and coming up next is Crypto.